everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are all well wherever you are in the world. Hopefully, it is cooler than it is in New York. Today is a hot one. It's nice and bright and sunshiny, but it is hot in New York, man. Yesterday, I tried to go outside and play some tennis, and I was winded in about half an hour. I was just like, whoa, I had to take 10-minute breaks in between little sets that I'm doing. I was just like, man. So New York is quite a bit hot today. So hopefully it's nice and bright where you are, but just a little bit warmer. Not that I'm really complaining. I don't want to complain, but you know. But anyway, how are you guys doing? Hello, my friends. I haven't been on here in a couple of days. Actually, this is literally the third time I'm trying to do this episode in the last 2 days. There are a couple versions hanging out on my laptop that for some strange reason my editing it's just been a disaster the last 2 days. So I'm like, okay, why don't we just do this as a live and we'll bypass all the editing stuff that I have to do. And so here we are. But hi guys, Rafaela first out. She's like, first. Hello, Rafaela. How are you? How is your brother, by the way? We've been praying about your brother. Hopefully he is well and hopefully he's out of the hospital. Again, I haven't been on here in a couple of days, so I don't know all the details. And I haven't even been on Baron or the Duchess of Success in a few days. So I am a little bit behind on a lot of things. So, but I hope he's well. Hope Church Nelly is doing well. I'd love to hear some update on Church Nelly as well. So hope she's doing well. So yeah, some things that we've been praying about and people that we've been praying about. So there we go. Alma is also here. Hello, Alma. And our awesome moderator, Karen M, is here. Hello, Karen. I know this is in the middle of the day and people are working and have so much stuff to do. So I'm always like, I'm going to be the only one here doing this live. So I'm always surprised, no matter how long I've been doing this, always surprised when I have people, you guys come and join me. So thank you so much because I know everyone is busy. Y'all have things to do, places to go, people to see. So I am really grateful that you take the time out. Just come hang with me for a few minutes. So yeah, I was very, very happy. Nash is here. Hello, Nash Sangbi. How are you? Let's see. Dee Dee is here and Olive is here and Lorna. Hi, guys. Let's see who else is in the chat. I know some of you you're listening, but you're not on the chat. And that's great too. So hello to you who are not in the chat. Lottie is here and Dawn is here. Hi guys. Who else is here? Connie, hello, Connie. Hanging out with us from Switzerland. Ghislaine is here. Hi. Wait, did I say Sonia? Sonia, you're here too. Yes. Hi, Kathy Garvey. How are you? So welcome you guys. And Auntie Jane and Janice are also here. Hello. And Judy and Minxie Martin. Hi. And we'll say hello to everyone else as they come in. But welcome. Our faves have been silent. They have been very, very silent under their tree. So I figured I'd just pick this photo because other than the photo with Meghan when she was pregnant, I figure, well, she's not pregnant anymore. So this photo will do. Under their beautiful tree in Montecito, which is where we like to think of them. Of course, we don't know. We're just, just assuming and wanting the best for them and wanting the most peaceful setting we could think of. So under a tree in Montecito, working on Aro or working on their Polo documentary or doing Archwell Productions or Archwell Foundation stuff, whatever it is they're doing, we like to think of them under their tree. So that for us is the place of peace and calm and hanging out maybe with Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie. So, I mean, this is summer vacation, so they are home. So, yeah. Anyways, so whatever they're doing, they've been silent. So which is what we love. They're working. They'll let us know what they want to let us know when they want to let us know it. And I love this for them. I love that privacy for them. And we in the squad are, I mean, we are very patient. So we have bunch of other stuff we could be talking about while they are just under their tree doing whatever it is they're doing. So but they're under their tree, but Archwell Foundation is not under a tree. Well, at least they've been out and about doing things I had no idea yesterday. I mean, this I was supposed to talk about this yesterday. Like I said, I've been trying to do this episode for 2 days, so we get it today. So yesterday was World Refugee Day, and I had no idea. I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea about that it was World Refugee Day. And thank you, Archwell, for letting us know. Which a lot of things that you go on Archwell and you're like, oh, I never heard of that organization before. Oh, I didn't know this was this day. So I love it that they keep us up to date in what is going on in terms of, whether it's the charity space or the foundation space. I appreciate that. So yesterday was World Refugee Day, and we know that the Sussexes have the Welcome Project, where they really embrace refugees, specifically refugees from Afghanistan. Of course, we know Prince Harry served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan, so this is really, really close to his heart, and also Meghan's heart, as of obviously the wife of a vet. And so they have this welcome project around the country in quite a few different places around the country. Last episode we talked about, and I mentioned part of their welcome project in Georgia, how they teamed up with this other group, and it's like a hiking group, so they go hiking. So wonderful. So yesterday what they did was put together these care baskets or care bags for refugee families, and they teamed up with this other organization, I think in California, to distribute all of this stuff that they put together for the families. And so that's Archwell's team up there, and they seem to have a great time putting together these incredible care packets for the families. I'm just going to move my banner from there at the bottom there. If you have not subscribed yet, if you're hanging out with us, have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video. And like and share the video, please. And also you can join the channel if you're able. That would be really, really awesome. But so I love these photos from Archwell. Again, if you go to Archwell's website, go to sussex.com and then click at the bottom on Archwell's Foundation, you get all of these more photos. And actually, I've just clicked a little bit of the blurb from there. It's not the whole thing. So go to archwell.com and you can read all of it there. It says today, which was yesterday, on World Refugee Day, the Archwell Foundation recognizes the resilience and strength of individuals who have been displaced from their homes due to conflict, persecution, or violence. Committed to uplifting communities, Archwell Foundation supports those resettling, addressing both immediate displacement needs and long-term care, particularly for women experiencing social isolation. Through the Welcome Project, these needs are cared for through social connection and access to vital resources. And again, so they are putting together all these big care packets for the families. And as we can see, talk about social connection, like the group in Georgia and all around the country, where they do swimming, they do hiking, they do cooking, they do knitting, all kinds of things, all to help the women, especially the women coming in, battle or overcome the isolation one would feel, as anybody would feel, if you were basically just dropped into another country and running away from whatever it is that's going on in your country, and you have to leave with not much, and you most likely don't speak the language. Connecting with other people would be a huge challenge. When I moved here, I spoke the language and it was still difficult. So I can't imagine moving to a country that is completely foreign to you and you don't speak the language and you don't know anybody. I can't imagine how traumatic this is. So I love the fact that Archwell has put together this program. And again, there are other organizations like the Welcome Project who do the same thing. For example, like the one that Archwell connected the Welcome Project with in Georgia. So there are all kinds of these projects. And I look forward to Archwell not only working with Afghan women, but women from other countries. Again, people from many countries come to this country as refugees. And as we know what's going on in the world right now, a lot more will be coming because so many governments are destabilized and so much atrocities going on that people are literally just wanting peace and wanting to be in a place where they can at least be peace and raise their family, at least at the moment, raise their family in peace. And so kudos to Archwell for what they're doing in this space. I love it. So yeah. And I love their photos too. So even though Harry and Meghan are under their tree, through Archwell, they're really not. So they are, their motto is showing up and doing good. Yep, they are doing great. They are doing great. They show up and they are doing fantastic. So thank you very much, Archwell, and the incredible Archwell team at the top there. And I'm seeing Archwell team be a little multicultural there, which is great. I'm like, good going, Archwell. Keep that up. Keep that up. I've talked about that before. So keep that up with that multicultural thing up there. So we want to see more of that. So there you go. Yes, I will mention that. I am like that, and I will mention that. So there, just in case you're wondering. What else is happening? I love this for people who are in touch with, especially like Meghan or Harry, really. But we've seen this so many times that people who Meghan have worked with have gone on and to do incredible things. And case in point, Christian Robinson, although Christian was doing stuff before, long before, him connecting with Meghan. But with connecting with Meghan, doing the illustration for Bench, as you can see there, it definitely gave him a much larger platform. I had never heard of him before. And so now he has a mega platform all over. And so when you hear the name Christian Robinson, you're like, oh, yeah, illustrator for Bench, And so Christian, he was tapped by Google to do the Juneteenth doodle for Google. So if you go on Google side and you see they always have the doodles there, Christian was tapped to do the one a couple of days ago was Juneteenth, and so Christian was the one that was tapped to do it, and so it was really cool. He did this interview with Griot, which is an online news outlet, and so this is a little bit of the article by Eden Harris. I think she was the editor, the journalist on this story. It says exclusive in conversation with the Griot illustrator and Meghan Markle collaborator. Of course, they have to put that in there. That's how he gets clicks. Meghan Markle collaborator Christian Robinson discussed the inspiration behind the 2024 Juneteenth Google Doodle art as a liberation. Art. Doodle and art as liberation. Sorry, I was like lost what I was saying there. And so, and again, I love the fact that him working with Meghan and this guy's done so many books, and it's amazing, when you look at his art, because I was looking at the doodle that he did there for Juneteenth, and it totally, the way how it is, it's like it just sort of takes you. I don't know. I speaking for myself only, I should say, it just sort of took me back to the days, when you, as a kid, you played jump rope and all of that stuff. And I felt like when I saw the doodle, I felt like I could jump right back into my childhood and be with my cousins, skipping rope and jumping rope. And I love. And I guess that's why Meghan chose him for his book, to illustrate her book as well. There's something about his art that is so evocative, that is so it comes alive and makes you want to jump right into it. And so I absolutely, absolutely love that. So, his piece was called Juneteenth 2024 Google Doodle Arts. Christian Robinson is finding emancipation through art. And so just, a heads up, if you have kids or you're, looking to buy little gifts for kids, he's also illustrated a bunch of other books. These are just three of of those that he's illustrated. So yeah, Last Stop on the Market Street, A Ghost Story, Josephine, which is about Josephine Baker. And so yeah, he has illustrated quite a few books. And so if you're looking to give gifts to kids, or if you're a mom and looking for kids, check these out with his work. And so really, really, really cool. I remember when Bench came out, one of the things that the squad did is that we donated some of these books to libraries. We donated it to I forgot what it was called, that we donated a bunch of these books through a bookstore to different organizations for kids. And so it's really, really cool. So again, check it out. And another thing about Christian that I was like, very interesting. When Bench came out, just after Bench came out, he did a deal with Target, and Target hired him to do their children's to do like their art for their children's clothing. And so he did, and all of this artwork is his, with with live kids. And it was just so cool. So this, I don't know if it's still going, because it's still on the website, so I'm assuming, I mean, it said limited, like a limited time it would be there, but it's still on the website, so maybe it's still going. So it says a collection designed to bring comfort and joy, sparks curiosity, and help all kids feel included, all at an incredible only Target value. And they talk about stuff, but one of the things they had spoken to Christian, and one of the things he says, working with Target to bring this collection to life has been a dream come true, Christian said, and I hope it helps Target's guests, big and small, create a space of their own that is timeless, captures their imagination, and sparks their curiosity. So all of that artwork, it was all of his. And so it just, I love his, again, it makes me big, for me at least, because I had when I was a kid, I had this big imagination. It makes me want to jump back in there and be a kid. But I was very struck by this article about this, and what the Target people had to say about Christian. It says, celebrated for his inspirational and joyful illustrations, Christian is known for his best-selling children's book, You Matter, and Another. They didn't put in the Bench, but that was new at the time. So it goes on to say, we know our guests want their homes to be a reflection of themselves and to look at Target as an inspiration and new ways to explore their creativity, says Jill Sando, Executive Vice President and Chief Merchandise Officer for Target. And she says this about Christian. It says, Christian Robinson's curiosity and creativity are unmatched. We are thrilled to be able to introduce our guests to such a special partner and deliver an inclusive collection that is as inspiring as it is affordable. And, they go on to talk about, it says, the collection is an amazing addition to our design partnership legacy and another example of Target's commitment to partner with more Black creators and designers. And I just thought that was so cool what you said about Christian. And so it was very interesting to me with him, doing this with Target. And then we had Clever Blends last year, or was it earlier this year? I forget. The days are running by so fast. And they had, and again, another person connected with Meghan, had their coffee or their lattes now at Target. Of course, they also at Whole Foods, but this is where it started when 500 Target stores are now carrying their brand. And it was just like, I mean, I'm assuming Meghan's ARO is probably a lot more high end than this, but I was like, I wonder. Because like both people that work with Meghan, or at least had, worked with Meghan, and she's invested in Clever, both are working with Target and also now Whole Foods. Should we expect RO, whatever it is, whatever, jam and dog food and all of that stuff that may be coming through RO, should we expect RO to be either at Target on again, or maybe Whole Foods. I more, Whole Foods is a little bit higher end than Target, so maybe. So I was just like, I wonder. I wonder. So yeah, I was just like, I thought it was just very interesting to see the connections that's made, and then both of them with Target, and I was like, oh, I wonder, maybe. Oh, hello, Nolithan. It's like, hello, Pedal, and everyone in the platform. So, hello from Nolithan. Nolithan, is it super hot in South Africa right now? It is so hot in New York. It's like, I think someone said it's going to feel like 103 degrees. I am staying away. After yesterday trying to play tennis in hot weather, I am staying out of it today. So, it's right in front of my fan for the entire day. I don't like air conditioning, so in front of my fan. So, but yes, do tell, no, Andu. But yeah, so what else is happening? Oh, so even before I move away from Christian, this is a little bit about what he had to say with the Griot article. I got so much into into uh, Target, etc. I forgot to. He did a little bit of an interview. So here's a little bit of clip from the interview that he did with the griot, and that's a bigger version, just in case you hadn't seen it before or hadn't seen it a couple of days ago on Google. That's a bigger version of the doodle. And again, I really feel like that's me, because I used to, my cousin used to do our hair with all these, we call them bubbles in our hair, all these colored bubbles in our hair. So when you jump, they go like click, clack, click, clack. We also had beads in our hair. So it's like, when I look at this, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes me totally, it would be me either jumping or skipping rope in there. So I loved it. And so this is a little bit of from the article from the griot. It says, while this isn't his first Google Doodle or his first time he's been on a global stage, having worked with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, on her best-selling children's book, The Bench. Robinson emphasizes that his smaller pieces of work has the same goal as other projects, to affect change and make a difference in people's lives. In quote, he says, for me, it's just about telling stories and creating images that I hope can be encouraging and empowering to make people feel seen and recognized and know that their experience matters, he told the griot. When asked about the creative process for choosing the doodle colors, Robinson noted that the illustration red, yellow, and green palette was inspired by the African American flag and its association with Afrocentric powerful colors. And I love the colors. I absolutely love the colors. So yeah, congratulations to Christian. Looking forward to whatever else he has. And I'm assuming Meghan will write more children's books. I'm assuming there's a bench part 2 or maybe the chair. I don't know. Or maybe the tree. Something. But I expect some other children's book from Meghan, and hopefully Christian will be there. And I love his hair, by the way. I just love his hair. I hope he will be there to illustrate it as well, because I love his work. So anyway, so that's it on Christian. Congratulations, Christian. Oh wait, what? Oh, it is winter in South Africa. Therefore, it's cold. Our winter is mild compared to yours. We hardly have snow. We even saw a tornado. Whoa, we even saw a tornado for the first time. Climate change, indeed. That is crazy. So wait, so you're on, and I didn't realize this. So you're on Australia and New Zealand weather, because when we're summer, they're winter. I didn't know that. Wow. So that is something I have learned today. I didn't realize that. My goodness. Well, there you go. You are not hot. We are. So there you go. I did not realize you were in the same weather pattern with Australia and New Zealand. So wow. Thank you for that, Edu. Another Thandu. And Rafaela, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you for your support. I appreciate your financial support always. Thank you. what else is happening? And we're gonna go through these really quickly, and then I'll end with you guys in the chat. What else is happening? Well, this mess. We go from the wonderful Christian, Christian Robinson's work and really supporting, and we just talked about him using the colors of the African American flag, and I mean, and then we go to this mess in the UK. And you guys may, I'm assuming Baron or at least the Duchess of Success, because this is happening in the UK, or it happened in the UK. They may have covered this already. So if you've heard this before, sorry, I haven't spoken about it. And there may be people who just didn't know about it. But I saw this the other day, and I literally, for quite a while, I was rendered mute. Now, you know me, I'm very opinionated. I always have something to say and an opinion about something and everything, probably. And I was literally struck mute. I literally didn't know what to say. Like, what do you say with this when you see stuff like this? And this is the International Slavery Museum. And this is in the UK. And it says, congratulations, Michelle Charters, head of the International Slavery Museum, whose services to our local community have been recognized with an OBE in the 2024 King's Birthday Honors List. And if you've been on this platform for any length of time in the last few years, for as long as we've been here, we have been talking about this nonsense, this mess. I mean, the first time we talked about it was when when Pamela was still here and we were hosting this together. That's to tell you how long we've been talking about this. We are literally now the broken record of podcasts talking about this mess, about the royal family, the royal institution, or the British government really using and giving these so-called honors to silence influential Black people. We have seen this stuff happen so often. It's now, I literally expect this just about every day now. But I have to say, when I saw this one, I was like, I don't know what to say. I really have no words. I literally don't know what to say. Because the International Slavery Museum, they had Michelle Charters, the head of the International Slavery Museum, accepting an OBE, an Order of the British Empire award. And I was just like, how do you respond to that? How do you respond? I'm like, and so some Mukhtar, this account on X, posted this from Benjamin Zephaniah. And Benjamin Zephaniah, I think he passed away, I want to say either early this year or late last year. And he is obviously an advocate for, one human rights, but advocate against racism and all of that stuff that's going on in the UK. And so he was doing an interview, and this is what he said. He says, an OBE means Order of the British Empire. I have been fighting against the empire all my life. I have been fighting against slavery and colonialism all my life. So how can I then accept an honor, quote unquote honor, my quotes, that puts the word empire onto my name? And this is him talking about rejecting an OBE for this reason. How can I, who have been fighting racism and colonialism and against slavery my whole life, want to have an OBE, want to have the empire, anything empire, onto my name and attach that onto my name? And there are a lot of actually Black and white people who have said no to these so-called honors for that reason, because of the British history and colonialism, the royal family's history as colonizers, and being a part and of the slave trade and all of those things. How can I fight against those things and accept an award from these people who are descendants of colonizers, how can I accept an award like this? And I'm so happy for the late Benjamin Zephaniah, and all of those who have said no. No, and I don't care how it looks, and I don't care that you're the king. No, I will not associate with this. I will not have my name attached to this mess. And you're not going to use me to whitewash what you did. You're not going to use me to cover up what your ancestors did and what y'all are still benefiting from and what is still destroying my people today. You're not going to use me to do that. And so for me, watching Michelle Charters grinning there is so grating and so aggravating to my every... like, that's why I was struck mute, because I'm like, what words do you use? And to see that the International Slavery Museum proudly posted, they're the ones that posted it on X, proudly posting this, and you're like, what? What on earth? This is madness. So, and if you think, she's like, okay, maybe, okay. This is on their website. She's not shying away from accepting this. It's like Michelle Charters, head of the International Slavery Museum, has been awarded an OBE for services to the community in Liverpool in the 2024 King's Birthday Honors List. And again, that's the other thing that's so aggravating. King Charles, end of last year, was allegedly one of the racist royals. You cannot tell me Michelle Charters doesn't know this thing that was being blasted over all of their press all of last year into this year, up to today, where it's like now cancer is now washing over the stench of racism and the racist accusations against them. This is who she's accepting this award from. And this is what Michelle said. I accept this as a recognition of the collective efforts of my community and the many individuals who have supported me along the way. As a Black person, this honor holds significant meaning, reflecting the progress we are making towards greater equity and representation, especially in my current role as head of the International Slavery Museum at the National Museum, Liverpool. I acknowledge the historical significance of being a Black recipient of the OBE, and it's part of a broader narrative of inclusion, which will empower me and my community in providing an enhanced platform to amplify our voice, extend our reach, and achieve even more. It says, it will inspire others from the community to show young Black people in particular that success is attainable. And this is so important, that this Black woman, this Black sellout, who is the head of a slavery museum, this place that teaches people about slavery and try to supposedly educate the young about where they come from and what's been done to them and what is still being done to them, is going to shape her and form her mouth to claim that, this will empower the community and it will enhance their platform and their voice and extend their reach. And not only that, it will inspire others in the community to show young Black people in particular that success is attainable. Selling out your people and taking a shiny trinket is, in this woman's mind, what success is about. The royal family dangle a trinket in front of her. And if you look at her resume and look at all the things she's accomplished all of those things without this OBE. But even with all of those things she's accomplished, this trinket from colonizers is what she is terming as success and a height where young Black people should be attaining to. I am like, lady, I just, I don't even understand. I don't even understand. Like, is there no self-awareness in this country? Like, it's no, like, I don't understand how she could look at this and think of it as success. I don't understand how someone working in a slavery museum, that means you are around this stuff day in, day out, can even have the mindset to even entertain the thought that she hasn't blasted the king for even the suggestion of offering her this. And you got to give the royal family credit. They know who will sell out. They know people like her from now on will have no respect, because who is going to look to her? Who will look to her with respect? Who will look to the slavery museum with respect? And that is the point. They know who they want to bring down. They know who they want to strip of any of that. And they offer the shiny object, the shiny trinket in front of them, knowing that the most important thing for them is status. It is not about racism and fighting against racism. It is not about educating and really fighting for reparations for your people, well, be it reparations in the Caribbean islands, Africa, or wherever else. It's not about fighting for reparations for the Windrush community. None of that. They know the most important thing to these people is status. They want status for themselves. They want the title after their names. That is the thing that's most important to them. And that's why they dangle it. Because they know they'll accept it. And the moment they accept it, they know what happens. Nobody will look at this woman and take her seriously after this. No one will. And this is why we will, I remember Tina saying, I don't see it for these British Black people. And I totally, I'm here with what Tina said. I totally hear it, because it's like, it's credible to watch this stuff happen. And again, we're on this channel like a broken record talking about this, because you see this so often. This is all it takes. A trinket from an alleged racist, a colonizer trinket that will make these people sell out, because what they really want is the status and the title. Oh, I'm an OBE. I have an OBE after my name. And they always have these, they always have these things like, oh, it's not really because I want status. No, it's for the community. It's to encourage the community. No, it isn't. You just want status for yourself. It's just, ugh. And so someone on X posted this article from 2021 that I had not seen before. And it's so from Galdem, and it's so on point. They're talking about MBEs, but it's MBEs, OBE, CBE, knighthood, the whole bit. It's all the same. You see a lot of these the most influential Black people in the UK, whether be it Lewis Hamilton, David, Olaguso, whatever his name is. He was on the Harry and Meghan docuseries talking about the empire. Him and a bunch of all of these others accepting these awards, because previously they were there, really, Black Lives Matter. They were there fighting against racism and all of these things. And the one thing you could see, some of them, including David, tried to hide the fact that he got the MBE until he was outed. They all have these, oh, it's for the community and all of this stuff. Liars. And so Galdem wrote this article about this. It says, bookmark this. And yeah, bookmark today too, or this event with the Slave Museum, because others are going to come behind it. Bookmark this. why we're fed up of weak excuses from anti-imperialists accepting MBEs. How should we respond when people of color who spent a lifetime cussing the empire start curtsying to it instead? And these are a couple of little clips from it. It's a little bit of a reading, but it's important. And I think they did a great job with this article. It's a pretty long article, so I just got a couple of clips from this article. And it says, this is one clip, rather than a bold political action, the rejection of an Order of the British Empire award is the bare minimum, especially for so-called activists who have garnered support by challenging racial injustice on public forums, only to sell out at the first sign of a gold star from the Queen, in this case, King. Accepting an award from the literal head of the empire reeks of disingenuity for those who educate others on doing better when it comes to anti-racism. It would be far less insulting for the honorees to be upfront about their desire for the status that accompany a queen's birthday honor than to claim to make some great personal sacrifice for the sake of representing their communities. Affirmation, acceptance of award from the colonial legacy of the British Empire, be it the Queen or colonial era title, is not validation of hard work, tweeted Vote Leave whistleblower Shamir Sani, who is someone who first-hand experience of being used by the state to brownwash nationalist institutions. It is a weaponization of your work in order to twist the branding and identity of the colonial legacy. Sani's words cut through Amika George's claim. That's another artist who, she had her pathetic reasons for accepting. It says it cuts through Amika George's claim that accepting this award will provide her with more opportunity to continue good work. While the empire required participation by foot soldiers of color to rehabilitate its violent image and to make it relevant within the modern landscape, the reverse is not true. We must distance ourselves from the idea that people of color require this validation to be heard. We need to criticize the system that teach communities of color that success looks like proximity to whiteness and affirmation by the British state. But we should also seek consistency by those positioned as leaders of movements. Ultimately, the acceptance of an Order of the British Empire is a personal decision. But those whose successful careers are woven into the fabric of anti-racism advocacy must accept that it will be accompanied by loss of credibility within these spaces. We can only hope that self-interest and the lure of state recognition doesn't overwhelm future generations of supposedly anti-imperialist Black and brown creatives, academics, activists, so much so that they allow themselves to become tools for the empire's PR machine. But in the likely circumstances that history will repeat itself for yet another year, bookmark this for the next time your faves give a weak excuse for accepting an MBE, or in this case, an OBE. Rodera, an account on X, posted this. Why would people of African descent be proud of accepting an award of the Order of a British Empire when the British Empire enslaved and colonized Africans for centuries? The irony of the head of the International Slavery Museum accepting an OBE from a slave institution. He could not have said this better. And thank you, Galdem, for this article, because it perfectly illustrates this whole thing. It's like this woman, Michelle, cannot expect to have any kind of, I mean, gosh, talk about integrity gone out the window. She cannot expect to have any kind of respect after accepting that. And then expecting this to be some kind of, oh, inspiration for others to follow. This is craziness. And you see this nonsense over and over and over again. When will Black British people wake up and realize that they're being used? When is the lure of this shiny trinket so there that it's like you would sell out your own people, you sell out your life's work, you sell out your history, you sell out everything about you to bow to those very people that has decimated your ancestors and are still reaping the benefits from that while you are suffering the consequences still to this day. I don't get it. When will we see a change in this? Obviously not not with the anti-slavery museum. It seemed for some reason this whole thing have gone over their heads, and I guess they're still celebrating this. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Anyways, moving on from the stink of this, I'm just like, let's just run away from this really fast and run over to Orlando, Florida. At least run to Disney World, because I'm like, we need to just block that out of our minds and get some Disney action happening here. But anyways, moving away from that mess and back to the US, at least to the Warrior Games. Warrior Games started today. A whole new subject. Warrior Games started today. It's in Orlando, actually near Orlando at Walt Disney World Resorts. And so it started today. We don't know if our faves are going to be there. We don't know if Harry's going to be there. We know he was there last year when it was in California. So we don't know if he's going to show up at this in Orlando. But I hope he does go. I mean, obviously, if you've been following this and following Invictus Games, you know that this is where Harry got the inspiration for the Invictus Games from attending the Warrior Games. And a lot of the athletes at the Warrior Games, or the majority of them, you'll find them also end up at the Invictus Games. And so they have a great relationship with Prince Harry. They also have a great relationship with the Invictus Games. So that's there. So if you're in Florida, definitely go support the Warrior Games. And so I'm going to try to keep up with what's going on there, and in future episodes of the podcast report about it. So yeah, so very, very exciting that that's happening now. And it says, so the US Army posted this. It's like, it's Christmas. And this was yesterday. It says it's Christmas in Orlando as Team Army gets their uniform and gift bags here at Warrior Games. The Staff Sergeant Proctor looks good rocking his new Warrior Games gear. And so that's Staff Sergeant Proctor on the floor there with his goodie bag, his goodie gift bag, as they were unwrapping all their new gear for the games. And that's something I love, whether it's Invictus or the Warrior Games, they get some good stuff, man. It is so cool. I love it. And so the Warrior Games posted it yesterday. It says, it's been a busy day at the Warrior Games. Teammates got a first look at their uniforms. So did the Warrior Pups. And so that's a little Warrior Pup right there. And the same thing as Invictus Games. We had a lot of the Invictus dogs there with their human. And so this doggy here is here with his human or her human at the games. They are all support dogs that really help the vets, heal in whatever way they need. And it's the same thing as Invictus, is healing through sports. And so it's really, really wonderful to see. So again, we'll keep up with what's going on with the Warrior Games. And again, if you are in Florida, especially if you're close to Orlando, definitely go and support the games. The vets are amazing, and it's so inspirational. You can see really why Harry got that, basically took that idea and basically just made it international. So yeah. And also the games are, I have to go and check if it started already. But the in Germany, they're having their yearly Invictus events there now. Their yearly German Invictus games. So I have to check if it started already. So again, we don't know. I know there was a post from one of the outlets that did such a great job when they were in Dusseldorf. That's not a regular news outlet. It's like a magazine. They did amazing job covering the Invictus games. So they were wondering if Harry maybe will also go to Dusseldorf to check out the games there. Again, this is the German Invictus games. And so we don't know. Harry and Meghan have been private with everything. So if he shows up and knows how Noah Harry, he definitely travels in stealth. So I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up at some point at the Warrior Games, and if he shows up in Dusseldorf for the games there. So we will see. That would be exciting. So that's all I got. I am going to stay in the chat for a bit and see what you guys are chatting about, and then we will end. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what is happening. It's so funny. This thing keeps jumping. JSC says, with the knowledge that she has about the empire and slavery, this is totally shocking. Should have refused it. I mean, again, as the article said, that's the least of what she could have done and should have done. She should have been insulted that King Charles would even contemplate, like he would even form the idea to even honor, well, quote unquote, honor her, to give her an OBE. Like she should be completely insulted. And yet here we are. It's just, I know, it's like, how can you be a part of and lead a slavery museum and even contemplate accepting such a award? I mean, you should be so insulted. You should put out a press conference, like completely obliterating King Charles for even the thought of that. The idea that he should even think that way. And then to put that in public, to even offer that. But again, here we are. Sylvia says, hey, Sylvia says, Petal, I agree. I don't understand either. But if you will remember, Tina and Michelle could not understand why no blacks in the UK could stand up for Meghan. Yeah, believe me, I remember. I was right in there with Tina and Michelle when one of the things that Tina, I always remember her saying, is like, you know what? I don't see it for British black people. Because of one, the fear of standing up, fear of speaking up against racism, and especially when it has something to do with the royal family. There was the fear from even reporters in the press, and I know this firsthand because literally one of the reporters from a BBC, this is what she literally told me because I was going back on her, like, please, can you say something? Can you speak up? And this is what she said. Many people here are afraid. Literally. That's what she said. And so it's just, yeah, I remember this was a very, very interesting time to that. And for me, that was the first time I was realizing just how bad it was with these situations in the UK. It was just how dire this is. Let's see. Madwell says, Petal, that's just some of the black people and celebrities in the US. That's just like some of the black people and celebrities in the US that's jumping on the Trump and Musk bandwagon. They're in it for themselves. Very true. Very, very true. They see a way that they can either, up their finances. They see a way they can make money or get more fame or attention from associating with the Trumps of the world or the Elon Musk of the world. Yeah, they will jump on it. And they will attack other black folks who call them out. It's crazy. It is crazy that we do stuff like this. And it's just so sad and grating to see us black folks. And you're like, but we're fighting here. Come on, don't be the weak link. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. Terry says she's been awarded an OBE to silence her from speaking out against the royal family as racist. Yeah, it's exactly why they offer it. Exactly why they offer it. Because a lot of these people who were so vocal, they were so vocal on, say, X and stuff like that. I mean, on social media. One of those people, Lewis Hamilton, so vocal. Do the Black Lives Matter, so vocal. Now he mentions stuff every now and then, or not at all. It just, yeah. And his excuse, oh, I did it for my mom. His mom is white. I'm like, so your mom, you didn't explain to your mom if she didn't know before about the history of colonization? You didn't explain to your mom about the slave trade and the royal family's involvement in it? You didn't explain any of that just in case? I mean, his mom is a woman of age, so she should know all this stuff. But just in case, she was completely oblivious. You couldn't explain that to your mom and explain to her why you couldn't accept a knighthood? So I've side-eyed Lewis Hamilton ever since. I was just like, dude, no. Just no. Like, I appreciate his driving and all that stuff, but no, I'm like, no. It's always for something else. And it's not because they just want to have that title next to their name. And Lewis Hamilton is the biggest whatever, in the biggest deal in car racing, yet felt the need that he need to have that knighthood next to his name. And it's just like, dude, really? Really? Cookies and Cream says, seeing a person of color accepting one of those so-called honors is not only mind-boggling, it is also appalling. Slavery is alive and well, but at a higher price. What a sellout. Exactly. Exactly. It is, I mean, like I said, when I saw the thing, I had no words. I was just like, I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say? What do you say after that? Don says, this is so terrible. Black history is not only about slavery, but Black history is not only about slavery. That's only a small part. Then to be rewarded by the colonizing country is insane. I mean, slavery is a huge part. I mean, I have to disagree with that. That is a small part, but it's, for me, a huge slavery, whether it's the historical one or the slavery that is now presented in a different way, but it's still slavery. For example, if in America, the prison system is, it just, yeah. But it is insane to not only be, rewarded, but to accept it. And not be insulted that the King Charles would even think of doing. And you also gotta appreciate the chutzpah that you have to have, the gall that you have to have to look at someone who is the head of a slavery museum and say, here's a trinket I want to dangle in front of you, because I am absolutely positive that you are going to spit on your people and accept this trinket. The kind of chutzpah that you have to think that, yeah, I could walk right in there and she will abandon all her principles, and maybe she didn't have them. Maybe this was just a job for her. That could be the case as well, because I can't imagine if my heart and my soul was there for my people, fighting for my people on a daily basis, day in, day out. If that was my soul and my heart and my passion, then there is no way that I would even entertain the thought. There was no way I wouldn't blast King Charles in every way possible that he would even consider to put that in front of my face. So I have to think that this is just maybe just a job for them. This is just like, unbelievable. What else are you guys chatting about? Lorna says the UK aristocrats that got rich from slavery were being compensated for abolishment of slavery up to 2015 by the UK Treasury. Source USA Today. Yeah, that is absolutely true. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Gordon Brown, one of the prime ministers. It could be another one. Well, actually, probably it's not Gordon Brown. It was one of the UK prime ministers whose father or grandfather was one of the slave owners that got compensated because of the loss of, free labor. Again, the slaves weren't compensated. The enslaved, I should say, weren't compensated. The slave owners were compensated. So this is absolutely true. And I don't think it was Gordon Brown. I could be wrong, but one of the UK prime ministers, either their father or grandfather was one of the people who got compensation for it. Unreal. Let's see. Scrolling up. Let's see. And scrolling down. David Cameron. Thank you very much. David Cameron's, what is it, his father or well, it's probably his grandfather, I would think, is the one who got compensated. Lorna said, yeah, David Cameron's family was compensated. So was it his father or grandfather was the one that was compensated for it? This is just so sick. And then this man went on to be a prime minister of the UK. Was it he the same one that went to was it Antigua that he went to where they were asking him was it Jamaica? I think it was probably Jamaica he went to when the prime minister of Jamaica, or was it Antigua? Correct me if I'm wrong. That they were, before they came, basically were demanding reparations, and he went right there in their face in one of those press conferences thing and basically told them to their face, no, we're not giving that to you. You should move on. We'll help you, but instead of help, they instead funded a prison. It's just it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Sylvia says, Pedal, I side-eye Lewis Hamilton as well. I remember when social media said he and Venus could be dating. Oh, really? I never heard that. He cleared that up real fast. But he was giving Kylie Jenner a spin in his race car. I'm telling you. Well, I mean, he's one of Serena's best friends, so maybe that's why. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, I side-eye a lot of these people because it's like, Kathy Abby says, which is why voices like Dr. Shola was so few over there. Well, it's funny, very funny. Again, with British Black people, it's very funny because, and I have to go back and check this because I think it was Lewis Hamilton when he got his knighthood. Dr. Shola, I think, was one of the people that posted that he deserved the honor. So she wasn't saying no to it, and which was very, very surprising to me. So British Black people have a very complicated relationship with, on one hand, they know, like, okay, we need to be fighting against racism and all that stuff, but when it comes to these so-called honors, they find ways to make it acceptable to them in some ways. And I was very surprised when I saw this from Dr. Shola. I was like, what? I think it was Lewis Hamilton when he was getting one. I was like, y'all people are crazy. On most things, I agree with just about everything. I agree with Dr. Shola, but I have to say no, that one. Yeah. This has been happening for quite a while for a bunch of different things. People are crazy. They hate the fact that she speaks out loud and proud against racism and all of that stuff. She is, it's just, there's a lot of craziness. She has posted some of the threats on X, so to out the people who have been doing it. So it's really, really ridiculous that this is allowed to go on. Lorna says, in the UK, compensation for slavery took up to 40% of the UK Treasury budget until 2015. And you know whose money has been going into the treasury? UK taxpayers, meaning black people in the UK have their taxes have been going towards paying slave owners. Wrap your mind around that for a second. Black people's taxes in the UK have been going to compensating, as they say, black slave owners for losing free slave labor. I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable. So yeah. So Sylvia, oh, he's back on Venus and Lewis Hamilton. He says he and Venus was seen in Friends together, and maybe they were just together as friends. Yeah, he is. Again, he's besties with Serena. So I don't know. I never heard this before, so I don't know the whole thing going around it. But yeah, it's very interesting how they respond to things like this. What they respond to and what they don't respond to always is like, interesting. Very, very interesting. So yeah. Let's see. Cookies and Cream says the ungodly family is nothing but a bunch of opportunists. They know that some people of color can be bought and sold. Some of them are willing to tap dance just to be acknowledged and accepted. And yeah, and the majority of them do. The majority of them are willing to tap dance, yeah, for it. And I applaud the people who say no, black people. And again, there are many white people who have also said no for those very reasons because of their history of colonialism. They don't want anything to do with it. And I applaud them as well. Thank you for not accepting that. So it's crazy. Unbelievable. And the funny thing, when you see them with these awards, you see them smiling and posting it on social media and getting their, oh, you deserve it. Yeah. And it's just like, oi, 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 oi. It's just, oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Let's see. What else? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, thank you, Fatima. Pelva, how is your father doing? I hope he's better. He is still in the hospital. He is slowly, like really slowly getting better. They are waiting. The reason he went in there is cleared up, but his breathing is not where it needs to be at the moment. So they are waiting for his breathing to get to where it needs to be before they release him. So my mom has been with him. My sister has been with him. He is doing better, but it's just, he's been there for almost 2 months, and he's been in the hospital there. So prayerfully his breathing gets better and we're able to get him out of there. So yeah, but thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. Please keep praying for him. So yes, he is not able to do, my dad is an artist, and as an artist, right now he lost his sight, so he can't see, and this is devastating for an artist. I mean, his whole life is around art. He just create he used to draw every single day of his life. My poor mother's house is like taken over by his artworks. He's like, Petal, I could give you an artwork for the rest of your life and I will still have art here. And so he is blind now and he can't do it. So it's devastating for him. So please pray for him. I appreciate that. So yeah. Gwen says some even gave awards back. Yes, they have. And this should be given back. I mean, I don't know. I know the comments when people heard about it, they were very much not happy about it. And so I don't know how harsh the pushback has been against it. So I hope more and more people express in no uncertain terms to her and the Slavery Museum how disgusting and despicable that is and how insulting it is to Black people and how not an inspiration. And please leave young people out of this. You know, you want to go kissing the feet of colonizers, do it on your own and leave other people out of it, and leave your community out of it too. I don't know if the pushback has been where they would even consider rejecting and say, you know what, actually, now we don't think so, which is what they should do. And apologize to the Black community for this mess. So, really, the Black and brown community for this whole mess. So, yeah. Sylvia says, Pedal, do you remember when Tina reached out to Dr. Scholler to come to the Success Swap podcast? I believe she said they could not get her to come on the podcast. Oh, I didn't know that. I did not realize that. They said they couldn't get her to come on the podcast. I had no idea. This is the first time hearing about this. So, wow. I'm telling you, it's just, they are good at some things, and then some things they run away from, So it just, I had no idea. I got to ask Tina about this. I was like, what happened there? Interesting. Thank you, Sylvia, for bringing this up. This is the first I'm hearing about this. Terry says, how should we respond when people of color who've lifetime, cussing the empire start courtesying to it instead? Yes, exactly what that article says. Yes, exactly. How do you want us to respond? How do you want us to respond? It's just, and then they come up with this, oh, it's for the community, it's to inspire. It's like, look, stop. So, yes. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. Yes, please. Yes. Thank you so much. Please keep praying for him, and also praying for Church Nelly and Rafaela's brother and all the rest among us who need prayers, who either us or family members need prayers. Lots happening in the real world. And, right before I came in, I saw this and I didn't even have time to make a slide for it because I think it was the last episode I was talking about the Washington Post and the British editor that came in, that they're doing, they're exposing all his nasty from, the Rupert Murdoch days, hacking, blagging, and specifically with him being accused of overseeing millions of emails being deleted, which affects Harry's case. And because of Prince Harry and others' court cases, why all of this mess is coming out. And one of the things I mentioned last episode was an article, I think it was the NPR article that was talking about all 5 people that Will Lewis is bringing. Some of the people that he's bringing are from the UK, including this editor that is the assistant editor right now from the Telegraph, Rob Winnett. And he was supposed to come and start right after the election in November. And with Rob Winnett, he partnered when they were in the UK with at the Rupert Murdoch the Times and at the Telegraph, whether it's being involved and them working with this guy investigator who was hacking, blagging, and all of that stuff, people's private information. And then they also help, especially in the case of Winnett, basically negotiated with the police to let this guy off with only a warning, and also paying people tens of thousands of dollars, $100,000 for information. They also tried to get Tony Blair's book. It was crazy stuff that they were doing in the UK. Well, Rob Winnett, who is again still at the Telegraph and was supposed to come, today we find out he has withdrawn. So he is no longer going to be coming to the Washington Post. He is going to stay with the Telegraph. And, someone from, I think it was the Telegraph, saying, yeah, well, Winnett is a really great editor, so is the Washington Post loss and our gain. I was like, no. He is realizing that American press works very differently from the British press. All the stuff that's coming out now with Will Lewis would never, ever been exposed if from whatever newspaper he was with in the UK, they would never be writing and outing their own editor. Or else you see all these editors that are doing all this stuff in the UK be outed all the time. He's realizing that America works very differently. America will report on their own company. They will expose their own company, and the heads of the company can't get involved in what they're writing. And this is why all this stuff blew up with Will Lewis, because he was trying to bully people, including pressuring an editor who eventually left to not report on him and report the mess that he was doing in the UK. And now it is all blown up. And so Rob Winnett is realizing, like, oh, we can't hide the stuff as we could hide it in the UK. We can't get away with the hacking and blagging and invading people's privacy with private investigators as we do in the UK. We can't get away with that stuff. In the US, your own outlet is going to out you. And I think Rob Winnett was like, let me think better of that. I think I'm going to stay in the UK. So Will Lewis is still at the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos has not fired him. Jeff Bezos has actually not said anything about this. And my thinking is that Jeff Bezos want exactly what, I don't think Jeff Bezos want the Washington Post as is, because by now he would have fired him, and he hasn't. And I think Jeff Bezos may just be waiting out this drama, and hopefully it'll blow over, and then he could turn the Washington Post into what they wanted to turn. Because again, if you're bringing someone with all of this mess as Will Lewis, it means that you don't want a paper whose motto is democracy dies in darkness. You want a paper that is the darkness. That is propaganda. So yeah, very interesting. It'll be interesting to see how many of the other British people that Will Lewis brought on is going to also fly away. I wouldn't be surprised if they all left, because now they're realizing, like, oh, wait, we can't hide in the American press. They're going to out us. Our own paper is going to out us. So yeah, very, very, very interesting. So yeah, that's the latest of what's going on about that. So yeah, let's see. Sylvia says, we were fighting since October 2016 defending Meghan. Yes, you have. I didn't come in until 2019, but I know you guys were there since 2016. I only came in again with the baby shower. That was when I started paying attention to what was happening with that. So yeah, very interesting. But thank you, Sylvia, for being a part of that, fighting for our faves since 2016. Kathy Gabby says, Petal, it's another invisible contract. Persons feel quite special because of the status these awards give them in the eyes of others. Absolutely. Absolutely. And from here on in, they will never be able to speak out against the royal family, which again is the point. That's the point. So, Sylvia, I think you're it today. I'm always dropping on your comments. Says, it pains me that the U.S. are bringing all these corrupt newspaper people from UK Fleet Street. Look, I am glad this is being exposed, because how many years have us in the squad been really contacting, whether be it NBC, CBS, CNN, with all the mess that they because again, they were hiring all of these UK people, especially to speak about royal stuff. I mean, constantly having to tag them with all of the nastiness from the British press, all their lies, misinformation, all their abuse, their bullying. We would have to tag these news outlets, because whoever it is that's doing the hiring was not doing due diligence, obviously. And so this for me is like, now that this is out there and they're seeing their full ramification and it's out there and so public, maybe now other outlets would do their due diligence when it comes to hiring people from the UK. And so, and would give us in the squad a break, because I'm tired of trying. I'm like, we're not getting paid for this. Y'all is the ones making the big money, who should be doing your job when it comes to hiring these people, and they're not. So for me, I am like, look, this is a good thing, because now hopefully more outlets would think twice about hiring these people, at least do their due diligence, or just leave them alone, hire people outside of the UK. So yeah. Oh, Karen is here. Karen says it looks like the Americans hire these people as cash for access. Yeah, they want access, especially royals. They want the access, or at least the access they think these people have, especially with the royal family. And so yeah, it's like, oh, let's hire you so we can get some access. So yeah, let's see. Terry says they know American media press have dirt on them and are not afraid to expose them. Yeah, and that's the reason why Robert Millett is like, you must just stay in the UK where it's safe, where I can do my dirty deeds and nobody calls me out. If I just stay in the UK. So yeah. Let's see. Sylvia says the Washington Post has some very respectable people there now. How long will they stay there? And that's the thing. Because Bezos is not saying a word, I believe they're trying to not only wait out the public, they're trying to wait out all of those those actual journalists. Because I don't suppose these people will want. One, they said that there's no one really has any faith in Will Lewis, so I don't believe these people will want to stay working under Will Lewis when they have no respect for him. And so I believe, if what it looks like is like Bezos is trying to wait them out and see if they maybe will just leave on their own, and Will Lewis stays in place. So yeah, who knows? But again, that democracy dies in darkness. That's like, no, until Will Lewis and his people that he brought in are out, that is just, yeah, you should just take down that motto. It makes no sense. So yeah. Lorna says, nope, they cannot get away with hacking, blagging, and lying in the US. Between jail time and multi-million-dollar fines, the US has no problem taking individuals and companies down. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, that a lot of that, the ethics of using and using information that you knew was hacked or blagged. I mean, come on. So yeah. Let's see. Cookies and Cream says, everyone please stay safe, pray, don't peg, and and always hydrate. That one got me there. Don't peg. Like, huh? Okay. But yes, definitely, especially if you're in New York or any place that is the temperature we have right now. Yes, please do what Archie says. Hydrate. Yes, definitely do that. But anyway, guys, I think that's it. Let's see. What else do we have? Lorna, Lorna says Bezos, they say, is the Mediterranean the Mediterranean Sea on a yacht and is not paying attention and hoping the attention dies down. I wouldn't doubt this at all, which I really believe that's what he's trying to do. Get it to die down. So yeah. But again, thank you, Prince Harry, and all of the other brave souls who are out there fighting the British press and exposing this stuff. Because if this didn't come up, if Prince Harry and the others that are in that court case with him did not fight, we would have never known this stuff. So thank you, Prince Harry. The US press should be thanking Prince Harry for exposing this mess. So yeah. What was Bezos thinking when he hired this riffraff? Money. We want money. Well, let's turn this into a propaganda site so we can make more money. So yeah. But yeah, it is very, yeah, shameful. It is disgraceful, shameful in every way, shape, or form. Anyway, guys, that's it. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Thank you to our awesome moderators, even though they're not here today. Lady of Church Nelly are not here, but Cookies and Cream Karen, Black Queen I didn't see as well. But thank you all, no matter what, for all the amazing work you do, helping us keeping this space safe. I really appreciate it. Thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. I appreciate you. And for those of you who recently joined the 2 Cents crew, anything I post for the 2 Cents crew will be in your community page. I don't know if you the access to your community page is right at the top of this video. You'll see live, you'll see videos, and closer to the end, you'll see community. That's where I'll post stuff about, the community and stuff that I want to post for the 2 Cents Crew. That's where it is as well. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the ways you support the channel in every way, shape, or form. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.